Today I'm in some nicer clothes because Yui is getting some upgrades which I don't have to get dirty for. So this is my favorite kind of upgrade.
On the previous video linked above, I reconditioned the wheels and transformed them from this to this, with a ton of elbow grease and a lot of below the breath swearing. It's a good watch and I highly recommend that you check it out. This week I'm heading straight for the low-hanging fruit and changing the easy stuff that actually makes a huge difference, like these light lenses and the rubbers around these cab windows. Plus, I also plan to install
Brand new window channels
and replace the canvas strip which sits under the bonnet along here, which I assume helps with any bonnet chatteriness while driving.
I really like upgrades like this because, like I said, I don't have to even change out of my normal clothes, and it's a really quick win for generally not that much money. 20 bucks. This is probably about 15 to 18 bucks. Rubbers are probably 10 bucks. I don't know. It wasn't a lot of money, and it really quickly transforms your series or your Defender or whatever you're going to do. So let's start with the lights, or the lenses for the lights.
And after putting on some safety gear, I unpacked the lenses which I ordered as a kit from lrparts.net and laid them all out. I feel like they owe me some sort of sponsorship at this point. And armed with nothing but a Phillips screwdriver and a flat screwdriver because, you know, Land Rovers, I swapped out each lens. It's only 2 screws, so it takes no time at all. This is a good time to check for any water damage, to change over any blown bulbs and replace any rusty screws. I didn't want to do an LED light conversion because for me that's kind of like putting human clothes on a dog. And these being the genuine Lucas lenses, I made sure to keep the branding the right way up.
Well, there you go. That didn't last long, did it? 3 minutes into the job, and I've noticed that the lens that comes with the kit is different to what my vehicle has. This one is obviously the rear tail light, but it's got an added section which is like a number plate illuminator, and it's a completely different size. So I guess I'm going to leave these. They're not in bad condition. It's just a pity. I would have liked all the lenses to be brand new and bright and shiny. What a pity, but it's not a total loss. They're still in really good nick.
So it was prematurely onto the front to swap over 2 clear lenses and 2 indicator lenses. But even this simple task wasn't without its annoying little hiccup.
So behind door number 1 over here, there was a bulb missing. Fortunately, I carry a few little spares, and I've picked up some things over the last few years, and I had a bulb which is meant for this. So perfect. Also, the screws are a little bit rusty, and I got some lovely little shiny stainless ones. You know, what I'm noticing is that this is, I think, a slightly different light to the rest of them. That's really annoying. I think I'm just going to stick to it for now, but that's something that's going to make my OCD flippin' flare up. There you go. Lovely.
So, with almost all of the lenses swapped over, Yui was looking slick, and it was now time to fit that strange canvas strip under the bonnet.
Okay, this next one is hopefully straightforward if I can get these little clips out. And I've got the new canvas strip, punch a few holes, can lay straight on. Fortunately, I've got all of the clips here, so I don't have to get more new clips. How these little clips work, they are like a, well, I don't want to say it, but they're kind of uterus shaped. But I'm pinching them at the bottom and lifting them up through the top.
I planned to reuse these uterus clips when I reinstall the canvas strip to keep it all authentic. But first I had to measure and cut the canvas to the correct size and burn the end of it to stop it from unraveling. And with my optimism sky high, I used a pick to make a hole for the uterus clip, but it just crumbled in my hand. I suppose I just trust way too easily.
Well, that just crumbled. Yep, they rusted to pieces.
And throwing authenticity out of the window, I used a bunch of pop rivets instead, which, I might add, makes way more sense to begin with. And although this is what you might call a heavy patina, I think this canvas strip finishes the front end off brilliantly.
Oh, that's lovely. This next job I've been kind of dreading a little bit because of the PTSD from the last time I did windows like this on the Defender. Ow! But they need to be done, and it's on the list for today. And I think once these new rubbers are in, I think it's going to look really, really nice.
Now, in principle, this is an easy job. You remove the locking bead, cut out the old disgusting and brittle window rubber, you clean up the edges with a little bit of muck off, and you reinstall all the new stuff. But as easy as it rolls off the tongue is as tricky as it is to manipulate a rubber seal that has no intention of cooperating. So if you fancy having a go at doing this job, consider this a friendly warning that it'll probably take way longer than you first thought and maybe cost you a finger or two. And when you finally succeed in breaking in the disobedient rubber, the real fun begins, installing the glass. These cab windows have a bunch of different corners and angles, and because you need so much lubrication to mount it into the rubber correctly, things can happen.
Ooh, this is going to end bad. This is a rubber mat in case I drop the glass.
Yeah, I probably should have had that down already. But now, with confidence mode fully activated, I could carry on wiggling and maneuvering the glass into position.
Well, it's in.
And finally, for my least favorite part, installing the locking bead. Nothing fun about this, just gotta get it done. And now for the other side. Another job ticked off the list, and thankfully this won't need to be done again for a long time. The new window rubbers really freshen up the back of this cab so it doesn't feel crusty anymore. And this cab has a great patina to it, but now it looks on purpose and not just old.
Now, I'm not familiar with these window channels, but I know that this is not supposed to happen. So, I'm going to take it apart to investigate.
These sliding windows sit in a felt-lined channel on 3 sides. The ones in here aren't bad, but the felt has gone a bit and they weren't installed correctly to begin with. And as I demonstrated, you could just pull the glass out. So if you were driving on a bumpy road, it'll definitely end up on your lap at some point.
The other thing I have to figure out is this latch here. It's not fixed into the door top, but it's what locks the window so it doesn't just slide forward when you brake, or someone can just take it out. But where it goes, I'm not entirely sure.
It's a simple sliding lock which pushes a latch up through a hole in the bottom of the felt channel, and it holds the window in place. It's not a plug and play situation, so I'll need to mark it in the correct place. But I won't know that until the new channel is in. Fortunately, I can cheat a bit and copy the screw hole location from the old channel. Now the new channel can go in and I can line up the latch, mark it out and fix it in. But the geniuses out there will realize, as I did only later on, that because I copied the screw holes from the old channel, it's in the same place as the old channel, meaning the latch doesn't work. I tried to modify it in place, but ultimately ended up using a much safer technique in the workshop. And with the channel modified and the latch working, I could fix it in place. But I didn't realize the camera memory card was just about to fill up, and I didn't get the last shot. But thankfully there's another door, and so this is basically the fast version of what you've just seen, but on the other side. Now, there's one last thing worth mentioning. In order to get the top channel in, you need to install the glass at the same time. You do this by screwing it in on one side and then sliding the glass across and fitting the remaining screws. All these little jobs really add up and make this a much more enjoyable vehicle to drive and own. I don't want the new owner worrying about anything, or for me to have to explain how all the little quirky bits work. I just want it all ready to go. Now, this video wouldn't be complete until I changed the old number plate out for the matching black one I've been hanging on to for a while. This project is really coming along, and I've grown very fond of seeing it parked out on my drive these past few months. And looking back, a lot has changed. The shabby old interior has had new life breathed into it. A tailgate and bed liner has been added. The wheels have been transformed, and now the lights, cab windows and door tops have been refreshed. Yet there's still more to go before he can be confidently handed over to a new owner. So stay tuned, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.